Holy smokes, so it appears that some major changes are happening with modules in Arknights. Basically, all operators in the game are confirmed to get a module, and modules will be upgradable and they will improve operators in a major way. And when I first saw this leaked on Reddit, my first thought was, fucking finally. Finally some changes to the game that we can all like. But no, that is where I was wrong. To my surprise, a good portion of doctors were not in support of these changes, which just really annoyed me. Like, I've just seen so much negativity from the community on Reddit, Twitch, Discord, YouTube, and so on, and I just had to make this video to set the record straight on why modules are brilliant game design, and anyone who opposes the module system just has a child's understanding of game design and balance. So the main argument I heard from doctors against modules is that it was too power creeping. And this notion that modules are power creep was already debunked on the original Reddit thread, but I also wanted to further explain why it's a silly argument in this video. Basically, instead of thinking in power creep, we should think in comparative power levels. The stages in Arknights have gotten increasingly harder over time, and yet no operators have been buffed to keep up with this spike in difficulty. In fact, Arknights has gotten so difficult that Hyperglyph felt the need to add an easy mode into their game. Let that one sink in. And whether you agree or disagree with the implementation of an easy mode, I think we can all agree that the very need for an easy mode stemmed from the game being far too difficult. So this power creep argument just completely misses the mark because if anything, the issue with Arknights is that it didn't have power creep. It's like if an MMO released with a new raid tier but didn't release any relevant gear for the raid tier to avoid power creeping the game. And that analogy is basically how Arknights is playing out right now. On this current contingency contract, for example, through no fault of my own, I've only been able to complete up to Risk 4 despite having multiple operators powered up. And virtually every doctor I've talked to has said they are in the same boat. Everyone agrees that this game has gotten far too difficult. And when we look at the data on contingency contract completion rates, it confirms that I am correct, as less and less doctors have been able to complete even Risk 18. And really the only two explanations for this data as far as I'm concerned is 1, doctors have gotten less intelligent, or 2, the stages have gotten harder. Now number 1 I completely disagree with. In fact I think doctors have gotten more intelligent if anything. The level of Arknights analysis is on a new dimension these days, and we've also done a great job at bullying those who spread misinformation out of the community. No, the issue is clearly that the stages have gotten too hard. We are currently somewhere around here, I estimate, on the stage difficulty to operator power level chart. And when you subtract the integrals from these two lines, i.e. take the area between the curves, we can see the estimated player frustration level. So we see that as the game is getting harder and harder, the player frustration is just exponentially increasing, which of course will lead to many people quitting the game. By my estimations, if this trajectory continues, around 60% of the global player base will get fed up and uninstall the game by the time the summer ends. This is a problem. And that exactly is what module upgrades will fix. Modules will make your operators considerably better and scale with these later stages. Basically, the idea is that we artificially bring the operator's power level up to scale with the harder stages with more intricate mechanics. So aside from fixing the balance of the game, which is a big deal already, the other reason I'm hyped for modules is so I just have something new to farm. Through no fault of my own, I have absolutely nothing to farm and do anymore in Arknights. All of my 6-star and 5-star units are max leveled with the relevant skills M3'd, and honestly, lately I've just been M9ing my operators at random even if the skills are completely useless because I just have nothing better to do with my resources. And I would be lying if I say that I wasn't getting pretty triggered lately that I am struggling to beat new stages released in Arknights these days despite having most operators on my account maxed out. In every other gacha game I play, if I am stuck on a level, it means I just need to power up my units more. But in Arknights, I can't power things up anymore, and it's really pissing me off. So honestly, I am kinda in limbo struggling to beat new stages until these modules are released, but I'm I'm happy to wait for them and just glad a solution to this problem is on its way.